Hey, this is Dale Thompson with Bride, and you're watching Rock and Metal Faith. Rock! This is the way we rock!
Whew. All right. Arin Rockman H back at you with another bonus episode of the Rock and Metal Faith Podcast. How's everybody doing out there in podcast land? All right. Thanks for listening. In this bonus episode, we're going to continue our tradition talking about album reviews, doing a very short review, try and keep this under, 15 minutes or so. And I thought I would jump on this opportunity to talk about a couple of brand new releases from Bride. I should have played some Bride at the intro is what I should have done. But anyways, we're going to talk about brand new releases, Lost Reels 4, and Vipers and Shadows. If I've got my copies, hopefully everybody out there has their copy. I'm up here in Canada. It takes a little longer for things to get here. At least I think so. Unless you're overseas, hopefully you've got your copies. I'm going to start by giving my thoughts on the Lost Reels 4. I've only had both copies there for less than a week now, just a few days. I've heard Vipers and Shadows a few times now, and Lost Reels 4 a couple of times. I haven't heard either one of them enough to really dive into the lyrics, to know the lyrics of what's going on lyric-wise, so my thoughts on both of them are going to be basically just on music, on what I think of the music and how I feel type of thing. I mean, I think that's important. No matter how great the lyrics are, I think the music has got to speak to you, got to move you. So with Lost Reels 4, Troy or Dale was talking. He says there are a collection of songs that both him and Troy thought were good, but didn't really fit the rest of the material along with Vipers and Shadows. So they've got a bunch of songs that were good, but don't feel like the same as the other ones as far as what they're going to put on Vipers and Shadows. What to do with them? Put them out as another disc and call it Lost Reels. They've done this before, 3 times actually. This is why this is number 4. On this one, I could see why these songs made Lost Reels and not Vipers and Shadows. It sounds like a slightly different production went into these ones, slightly different feel in the writing and everything about that. Again, not that they're bad songs, just if you listen to the 2 albums, you'll know what I mean. You can definitely hear a difference between the 2. 10 songs on here. Troy does basically all the instrumental work from guitar, bass, violin, cello, piano, keys. It doesn't say he does drums, and I'm wondering if maybe they're programmed drums type of thing. I didn't actually think about asking Dale that. Dale has been on the program, so if you haven't heard that, check that out. It's really good. He is talking about the release of Vipers and Shadows, Lost Reels, as well as various albums from throughout Bride's career and a lot of the side projects that he has done. A couple tracks that stand out. There's 10 songs on here. A couple tracks that really stand out would be the first one, Headstrong, and I Know How This Will End, which is about the 6th song on there. They're all good. Overall, the 2 albums, I would say, have a different feel than anything else Bride has done before. Bride has always kind of pushed the boundaries, grown musically, and they've done it again. They seem to have a good blend, mixing different styles, and is not really straight ahead rock. This is definitely not Snakes in the Playground or Skin for Skin or anything like that. They have blended various styles together to create their own sound for this record. And there's a few bangers and straight ahead rockers on here, but for the most part, it's a little more laid back, not in the ballad vein, kind of more in the moderate tempo type of thing, but full of some very well written grooves and riffs and stuff like that. Uh, you'll find that kind of music style across both albums, Vipers and Shadows and Lost Reels. Let's move on to Vipers and Shadows and stuff. It's a double album, 20 songs. If you've got both releases, you've got 30 brand new songs to check out, which is kind of why I don't have a really in-depth study on these records. 30 songs of Bride to listen to type of thing. Okay. So from Vipers and Shadows, like I said, it's different musically. I would definitely say it's better than the last three that they've put out. The last three, I think there's been a few good songs off of each one. Production wise, I wasn't really impressed. Found it got a little muddy or at times overdone type of thing. This one seems to be nice and clean in the mix. Production wise, everything it sounds good. It's all you can hear everything without something drowning something else out. I've listed about 3 songs off of each disc from Vipers and Shadows to kind of highlight and say these are probably my favorites. Right now, it's still early to say which ones are going to be my favorites. These are the ones that seem to stand out to me. First one that stands out is A Million Miles, which is the song that leads off the double disc set. It's a great, fast song, great riff to it, great way to start the album. Actually, a great way to start both albums, really. And definitely a great choice as a lead-off track. Another one that stands out to me is Fall to Pieces. Now, Troy and Dale had released about 30-second snippets of a couple of songs before they were taking pre-orders, and this was one of the ones that they released, just a 30-second snippet from. Caught my ear, and as soon as I heard this, I'm like, okay, I'm in. When I heard that they were releasing and only doing pre-orders, and you can only get it from them, I'm like, and that this is not going to be on any streaming service or anything like this. I'm like, I don't know about buying an album that I haven't heard before, especially with Bride. I haven't been impressed with everything that they've done. I was willing to wait. When I heard Fall to Pieces, I'm going, okay, now I got an idea of the sound, where they're going. I'm in. Another track I like from there is No Better Time. Again, like all these songs are just kind of great grooves. I think No Better Time is a little faster. Trying to keep all these songs kind of straight. I've been listening to like 30 songs, 30 brand new songs, as well as trying to figure out, what music I'm listening to for the regular episodes of the podcast. So listening to lots of stuff, trying to keep it all straight in my head. All right. And what's kind of neat too about this is they've labeled each disc separately. So the disc one, they call Vipers. Disc two, they call Shadows. And I think that's kind of neat. So from the second disc, the standout tracks for me is Higher. There's another faster one. And another standout track is Deliver Us from Evil. If I remember correctly. Now, this is one has elements of stuff they've done before. This one sounds like elements from songs from Skin for Skin. This one could easily have been put on that record, I think. So they haven't dived too far away from what they've done before, but this is definitely overall a different sound for them. And Bride's been known for that, for changing up their sound every so often. kind of expanding their musical legs type of thing. And I think they've done a good job this time. Another track I like off of this one is Name of the Game. All these songs I've picked are ones that kind of so far have stood out in my head when I look down the track list going, oh yeah, I can't remember what that sounds like. I can't remember what that sounds like. Okay. None of these have stuck in my head that I can start humming them. I can sing them. I might recognize them if I heard them in a random playlist. I'm not sure yet. Anyways, so that's my thoughts on Lost Reels and Vipers and Shadows. However, I've got a special surprise for those who are still listening. I've got a little contest that I am about to launch right here, right now, and stuff. Thanks to a great listener of the podcast who actually happens to live in the same city and apparently even just a couple miles from where I live. He received his shipment of Vipers and Shadows and Lost Reels before I did. I only ordered Vipers and Shadows. And this listener, Brian, reached out to me and said, I received an extra copy of my order. Would I like a copy? I said, yes, definitely would like a copy because I didn't have Lost Reels on order. I, raising family, got bills to pay. I can't afford both discs. So I was happy to get Lost Reels, which also meant I have an extra copy now of Vipers and Shadows. This is still in the plastic. I have not pulled the plastic off of it. It is signed by Dale and Troy. And I am going to give this away to a listener. But you got to do a little bit of work. Or you got to know a little bit about Bride. Put it that way. So I'm going to give you 2 questions in the comments, in the email to Rock and Metal Faith, or you can even message me. I know people have reached out and messaged the podcast, or leave a review. Leave your answers. From the answers I get, I am going to pick a winner. I'm going to limit this to Canada and the United States just to keep the price of shipping down. I'm going to take a hit and I guess pay for the shipping to wherever the winner is. If you'd like to pay for the shipping, because this is all coming out of my pocket now, that would be very much appreciated and welcome. I'm not saying you have to, though. Anyways, I'm going to give you guys 2 questions, and who can ever come up with the correct 2 answers, I will select the winner from those. The questions are, what is the name of the Last Bride album? And what is the name of one of Dale Thompson's side projects? So that's it. And if you don't know the answer, listen to our podcast when Dale was on. He talked about that. Definitely side projects. I'm sure most of you guys out there know what the last album was called. And so that's it. Leave a comment, review, and a way I can message you back type of thing. So we can talk kind of privately about where to send your prize. But I have got, like I said, a brand new copy, unopened, of Vipers and Shadows to give one of the listeners. So I'll be looking to hear from you, or waiting to hear from you. And good luck. Till then, keep on rocking.